Hail and welcome to the Crypt of the Necromancer. I'm Jimmy D, and I've got Necro beside me. How's it going?
Oh, quite good. And yourself?
Yeah, good. Let's talk about Season 3, Episode 8 of Star Trek Picard, Surrender. Surrender. So, how do you like this episode?
Really? That's my rating. My rating is
You're
a
a man
solid.
of many words.
Yeah, my rating is a solid.
I
It
don't know,
could have been
man.
a lot worse. So
Yeah.
in this day and age, especially, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
But it could have been quite a bit better.
I thought there were two really good moments in this episode, and those two really good moments make up for a lot of the mediocrity of the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a few bad moments too.
Yeah. Yeah, there were a few bad moments, but I don't really have a lot to say about it. It was, moves the story along, and it kind of plods. It's a little bit like the 20th time you've listened to that Phil Collins song "In the Air Tonight," where he's got that drum machine, and it just keeps plodding and moving forward incessantly. That's kind of how this episode is. It just keeps moving forward. But there were some good moments, some really good fan service moments, and some really good payoffs. And this is what TV used to be like. You would get these. I don't want to call it a filler episode, but it's an episode that moves the story along with some pretty boring moments in it. This is what TV used to be like all the time. And it would be quite repetitive in serialized television as well. We've got to fill the time. And the more I watch this series, the more I think they've actually finally got a good television writer. And compared to some of the other sci-fi that we're getting currently, Star Wars, Mandalorian, this is much better. This is much better.
So this is doing quite a bit better than Mandalorian. That's season 3. That's for sure.
Yeah. Season 3, you put these two side by side, and this is giving us what we should have had a long
From
time
season
ago.
1, yeah.
Yeah.
Without Raffi, don't care.
Yeah. Did you mention there were bad parts?
Yeah. There were a few bad parts. I guess we're getting into spoilers now.
Okay.
So
before we do, would you bother watching it?
Oh yeah, certainly. You should
it's definitely watchable.
Watch this one. Am I going to watch it again? No.
Yeah, probably not. Maybe one or two scenes I'll watch again, but very specific scenes.
Yeah, it's not particularly great. Whereas I will watch The Next Generation again. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, and you know what? Now that you bring up The Next Generation, it is kind of like The Next Generation. There are some episodes of Next Generation, I'll get to, and I realize what episode it is, and I think, oh, maybe I'll just skip this one. So it's living up to its namesake, in my opinion. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, Worf being a simp for Deanna? No, that's not Worf. Don't hand me that bull crap. Worf suddenly appearing behind the bad guy and stabbing him through the chest and killing him. Really? That's the old trickery of the character. Nobody's aware of the character until he needs to appear in the scene. Then, surprise, poof, he's there. A little bit of the heart-to-heart stuff between these two. Okay, thank you for the soap opera stuff. Bit bizarre in Star Trek, but not at all bizarre for Alex Turdsman.
Oh, he was there the whole time. Hang on, you didn't see him?
There we are. Oh, yes.
Let's look
Worf
again.
Was there
Let's
the whole time.
Here comes the guy. Oh, there's Worf. I can see him.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, yeah.
There he is.
He's right there.
Look, there's his shadow.
You can see his legs right under his legs as he moves around. Oh, yes. Sure.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
A bit ridiculous.
Yeah. Quite a bit.
Yeah.
What else did we have? Even in the review of what had happened before, once again, you see Picard and Beverly shooting at the changeling and missing at point blank range due to plot armor. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. She has to act like a real nasty killer on the bridge, and she terrorizes a young girl, an ensign, and she terrorizes a father of a child. And then she decides to go and shoot the Vulcan standing next to them.
It subverts
Subverting
expectations.
your expectations again.
Yeah, subverts
Well,
expectations.
That part is written by an idiot, and I'm sure that's Turdsman's hand in there.
Yeah.
Changing it. She should have, first of all, shot the most fearful person. That would have the biggest effect for the first execution.
To shoot the most fearful or the biggest and strongest?
Most fearful.
Yeah?
Yeah. Absolutely, because it will anger everyone else.
Oh, I see. The weakest.
Yeah.
You shoot the weakest and makes everybody... interesting.
Yeah. Everybody else gets angered. They're powerless. You might have a revolt on your hand, sure. But if you go after the one who's scared the most, you'll have your biggest effect, and you might not have to shoot anybody else. Especially as they plead and cry over the squawk box. You might actually get what you were hoping for. Yeah.
Well, so two of the things that probably three scenes that I thought were pretty cool, but two of them I really enjoyed was all the callbacks. Sorry, I'm struggling a bit with StreamYards at the moment. All the callbacks to Data and lore. Did you not like this part?
Grandpa Data, please put some makeup on him.
Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, I'm willing to look past it. They're doing what they can.
They're doing what they can, but quite honestly, I wouldn't have done this. I mean, they wrote a pretty good escape, saying, "Oh yes, we've made one that's much older. We've made an android that's much older that looks like me because I'm old." Okay, but seriously, the computer animation is well enough that you could have given us Data as he originally appeared.
Yeah, there is de-aging, but I mean the issue with this series is that Secret
they don't have the money.
Squandered. They've squandered so much goodwill. There's no money left. Yeah. So they're working on a shoestring, and I'm sure all the money has gone into. That's why we're getting bottle episodes. There's nonstop shipping a bottle because, right? But they don't have the money, and this episode really shows that off.
Yeah.
There's like two or three, but maybe actually there's the bridge, there's wherever Data is in engineering, and that's another reason why the series is so dark, because they can't afford to light anything, because you'd recognize it. You'd recognize the sets from other garbage Star Trek episodes.
Pretty much,
or programs.
I'm sure they're just reusing the Discovery sets.
Yeah, they can't.
Excuse me, I said the wrong word. The Discrapery sets.
Yeah, I mean, there's a hallway. There's I guess the Shrike. We didn't see the bridge of the Shrike. We see our bridge. We see engineering, and then we see this area, which is green screen, right? And we see the boardroom, the conference room.
Wait, this area is green screen with lens flares.
Yeah, don't forget the lens flares. They got to put the lens flares in.
Inside Data's mind is full of lens flares inside his head.
Yeah. I thought it was really clever how they did this. How Data uses his own memories, and of course, Lore's going to keep them as trophies because he knows Lore, and he uses his memories to subvert Lore's expectations. And then a really nice moment here between Geordi and Data, how they talk about their friendship. And then I really loved this boardroom scene. I love this, how they're all sitting down around the boardroom like they used to. Unfortunately, the conversation isn't what it used to be like, and it's a pity that we're not getting the same camera angles that we used to get, because the windows on the Enterprise, of course, are on the Picard's right, not on his left in the boardroom. So that would have been nice if the windows were on the other side, and then we could really get a nice echo of previous Star Trek episodes. But that's nitpicking. That's really tiny nitpicking. Yeah. What did you think about this?
Yeah, pretty good.
Did it
I liked
speak to you as much or no?
Yeah, very nice. Very nice to have this reunion shot. Very good.
Yeah. So that was good. This is what we should have had 3 seasons ago, and then you might not be out of money and having to do bottle episodes. Now I thought getting rid of Vadic, I love the way they did it.
Well, yes and no. Very clever, but why would a bridge be evacuated like that. Seriously.
Okay,
It makes
now
no physical sense.
all right, hang on now. Hang on. We can't say that. So one guy goes off to the left and she goes straight towards the Shrike. And he goes blasting on the Shrike. Not enough Jerry Ryan in this episode. Thanks. I'd like more Jerry Ryan. But the reason why I say we can't really... I love this, how she slowly freezes.
Very nice.
And then stops moving because she's just dead, frozen and dead.
Strange that she doesn't revert to her natural state.
Yeah. So the reason why I say this is cool and that it's not a big deal that they do this is I seem to remember, was it the motion picture that they got out along on the saucer section and they exited via the bridge? Where was it?
They exited much further down, about a little bit closer, below the phasers.
Oh, okay.
Below the phasers, toward where the saucer section is flat.
I seem to remember it happening in one movie where they end up leaving via the bridge view screen.
I've never seen that.
I'd have to go back. Maybe it's one of the TNG movies where they land on a planet or something like that. And
they do have the main view screen broken open.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
So it was been smashed as she's about to be smashed. Nicely done. Very good science there. Yeah.
Here's the question: can she come back?
Maybe. Who knows?
I thought they got rid of her a bit soon, but I guess she's not the main big bad of this episode of this series.
Maybe it's the cut hand part that turns into a talking floating head.
Maybe
the demon hand.
And then, actually giving Deanna Troi something to do, we delve into the depths of Jack Crusher's psyche to figure out what is behind the red door, because he's afraid to open the red door, isn't he? But she says, let's do it together. I'll do it with you. Oh, look, lens flare.
Yeah, behind the red door is the Rock of Eternity with the wizard Shazam.
The Red Door of Bravos, which is in the books of the song The Ice and Fire.
Yeah, so all in all, okay episode. Yeah, I don't know how many there are in this season. I'm figuring there might be 10. I don't know.
There should be 10 episodes in this season. Yeah, that's right.
Maybe the Hand of Vadak will come back and be the real bad guy. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, but it's definitely keeping me interested enough to continue watching. I would have liked the payoff to come, the reveal to come now at the end of the episode, because if there's a big bad back here that's impressive enough, you can reveal him, and then even the reveal will have people coming back to see, oh, look who it is. What's he going to do? Or what's this evil entity going to do?
Yeah, if you just have a red door, it's a little bit of JJ Jerkoff's mystery box.
Yeah, it's a bit mystery box, and we're beyond this. That it worked. Yeah. You had us probably for a little bit of Lost, and then we saw where these types of stories go. So the payoff in the episode where you're talking about the issue is probably more effective.
Yeah, quite honestly, I watched 2 or 3 episodes of Lost at the beginning when it had started, and then I just didn't bother with it. Yeah, it wasn't going anywhere much. So
a lot of people liked it. My wife watched it, and I just said, yeah, whatever. I'd rather play video games. It's more interesting.
There we are.
Anyway, there we are. So yeah, worth watching. Moves the story along. A couple of very good moments and very good TNG callbacks. I was happy to see it, and then I won't watch it again, like I said to you, like you said to me. Sorry.
Yep.
So I agree with you there.
Yeah, especially since there wasn't enough Jerry Ryan for you.
Yeah, there wasn't really enough close-ups of Jerry Ryan, and I she's got attitude, and she was the only one on the bridge who had emotional outbursts when Vadak was going around deciding who to kill. No, take me, but she sounded very mannish and not quite the 7 of 9 that I like. Yeah.
Oh, and of course, Raffi, don't care, has a scene of doing sword fights with enemy soldiers.
I think I went to the bathroom during that scene.
Yeah,
I saw Raffi don't care up here, and so I got up and went for a wee-wee.
So apparently, if you're going to fight with swords in the future, when people have phasers, they will not use the phasers and will indulge you and use swords against you.
Such garbage.
Such garbage. Such absolute garbage.
Yeah, there are some characters that they've introduced that I'm invested in. some, Titan characters. A lot of people like Shaw. I don't really like Shaw. A lot of people want to see a Shaw series. I'm not too interested in this guy.
No.
He's too disrespectful to his seniors. I'm not interested in that. But a lot of people want to see him in his own series. I'd love to see this version of 7 of 9. It depends on if she is still a lesbian or not. Not that I dislike lesbians, but the original 7 of 9 was not a lesbian. But what do they call them?
Don't change it into one to just check a box.
What do they call them? Lugs, lesbian until graduation. She was just going through her college phase with Raffi. Anyway.
I don't know.
So the characters that I was invested in and I did want to find out more about, unfortunately, was our Vulcan science officer. I wanted to find out more about her, but they killed her off in this episode, sadly. Now the Beta Z officer that said, is there anybody who loves you? Yes, my son. And then he's just very Starfleet, very militant, okay, I'm ready to die to save the rest of my people, to save the right thing happening. I like that character.
He's Bajoran. Is he the same as
Bajoran?
Yeah, Bajoran. Yeah. Okay.
I hope I said Bajoran. Did I say Bajoran?
I'm not sure. But then we have LaForge's daughter. I like her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Sydney LaForge. She's a good character. Yeah, for sure. Who else did I find? Jack Crusher. I really like Jack Crusher.
Jack Crusher isn't half bad.
Yeah.
Very Picardy.
I think once he figures out what's going on in his head, too, he'll be less conflicted and less emotional. The crying while talking, the tears coming out of his eyes, maybe I'm going to give him that because he's struggling with this entity that's clearly, hitching a ride in his psyche. Something's going on. It's not him. I think it's something else. So I think once he deals with that, maybe we'll see him a little bit more stable. And I think he does need to become more stable. For me to really buy into the character.
He needs to become previous Picard.
Yeah, stoic.
Because that's an archetype. The stoic archetype. That's what you need. That is really what you need.
Yeah.
So fine. Maybe if he's the star of the Starfleet Academy series that they plan to make, then you might actually do well with it. You might actually go okay with it. If he's not the star of Starfleet Academy series, then no, it's going to be another piece of shit. And it sounds like it will be. Because it sounds like Turdsman has kept on trying to throw this at the wall to see if it would stick over and over at CBS, apparently.
Yeah.
So, really, a stupid hideout simply should not have Trek. They shouldn't have it. It belongs somewhere else.
Well, we have till at least 2026. And then we'll see where we go from there, whether they extend the contract or not.
Bad move. You should have given it to Seth MacFarlane. You absolutely should have given it to Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, but again, nothing can be done until 2026 unless they're willing to break the contract, and for that they'll need a lot of money because then they have to pay out the contract anyway, as I understand legalities of this type of thing. And then they're throwing bad money after bad. So
just take a lot more control, CBS, and don't let that idiot Turdsman.
That's the thing.
Too much.
They just don't get it.
Yeah, make sure you control it as well as, if you can control the next series, as well as this third season has been controlled, you have a chance.
Well, these are Hollywood types. This season hasn't been controlled. This season has been ignored. Kurtzman ignored this. He went off and what was he working on? A different,
I don't know.
Something.
I really don't know.
Another remake of something else, essentially.
So he wasn't here interfering.
So he wasn't involved. He was like, Star Trek's not doing so well anymore. You can't find Terry Matalas, you go do what you want. And Terry did. And it's the thing that saved Star Trek for him. Mm-hmm. So now, how much do you want to bet? The Eye of Sauron, it's like the Mandalorian season 1 did well. So suddenly Kathleen Kennedy's eye is on the Mandalorian. And now what's happened to it? It's an absolute piece of rubbish. So I expect the same type of pattern to happen here. Season 3 of Picard is good because the Eye of Sauron is off it, but then it does well and it attracts the Eye of Sauron. And then I expect the next season to be garbage and all the subsequent Star Trek shows to be garbage. So at least we got one good season out of it.
Yeah. We'll see what's coming.
Yeah. I'm not holding my breath.
I generally check reviews of other channels before I go and watch myself.
Yeah.
Why? Because I don't want my expectations to be subverted.
Anyway, there's this. Tell us what you think about the episode. If you enjoyed it, didn't enjoy it, think the season's going well, think we're off our nuts and don't know what the hell we're talking about. Let us know down in the comments below, and we will read your comments and respond accordingly. Until next time, I am Jimmy D, and below me is Necromancer.
So
anything you want to say to sign off?
Yeah, like, share, and subscribe if you have a mind to. And we hope to see you again. Thanks for stopping by. Live long and prosper.